Hello, welcome back to Life Lessons from a Lawyer. I'm Peter Hastings, lawyer, educationalist. I've done various things. Uh, I'm going to talk to you now about the basically the past and the future. So you probably think of lawyers very often going to court and fighting what we call litigation, and this is an attempt really to examine what's happened in the past using usually the documents, emails, and the witness testimony of those who were there, and to try to establish what happened and for the judge to make a judgment. And in the civil courts, that is what's most likely to have happened. And in criminal courts in England, it is, did that person do that thing beyond all reasonable doubt? But it's a way of trying to work out what happened in the past and usually to apportion some blame. Did that person commit that crime? Whose fault was it that the car accident happens? Who is to blame for the marriage breaking down? Who took the money out of the estate when someone's father died? And so on. And the court will try to decide that question, who's really gone wrong, and then decide how they should be put right. And of course, those things can only be put right usually with the payment of money. So you'll get this amount of money back. And that is what we call litigation. Now, that's okay. And sometimes that's the best you can do. So you find that who's at fault in the past and try to put it right. But in fact, the courts these days in England are putting a lot of pressure on people to look instead to the future, which is to say, okay, there is an issue here. There is a debate about who should get dad's money after he's died. There is a debate about how often the children should see their dad or their mum after the parents are split up. There is a debate about who caused the car accident. But instead of spending our time and money arguing over who is to blame, let's have a look at how we're going to go forward together. Now, this I think it's difficult because there are emotions in play when it's who's to blame, and some people will feel that until they've got the judge to say they're right and the other guy's wrong, they haven't got the justice they feel they're entitled to. They haven't been vindicated. But this in England, this started really with the question of children, because even parents who really hate each other will, in the end, usually be able to say, actually, let's just sit down and work out what's best for the children. Let's look forward. Let's forget who's to blame, who said what, who did what, who might have done this, and let's look forward for the children's sake. And this philosophy has been expanded in the courts to all other cases. The judges are always saying, we're going to stop the case for a month so you can talk. They do that in almost every civil case now. You can't carry on with a court case. You've got to try and talk. You can get professional mediation that will listen to one side and the other, try and push you together, try and see where your common ground is, because you might be able to find some, if not all of it. And of course, this is move on to in the business world when things go wrong. For example, when there's an aircraft crash, there aren't many, but the whole focus is on what went wrong. How do we avoid that happening in the future? Not who was to blame. Who's to blame doesn't really help us in the end. And I know this is true because when I've won court cases, I sometimes, I'd like to tell you I always win, but sometimes not. But at the end of a court case, even if you feel you've won, the client is not 100% happy because they won't have won what they thought they might win. And also, it won't really give them much more closure than the person who's lost. Because even when I have lost, the person will say, at least it's over. So in fact, the court case has been used not to find justice, but to get over the event. And of course, you can do that much better by sitting together and finding out a way forward. And that's always the case in personal relationships. Don't forget, I'm not saying ignore, but just remember that person did that. And let's move forward. How are we going to live together now? So, mediation, looking forward, litigation, looking back. The way forward is to look forward. Thank you.